Good afternoon. Good afternoon, my friends. It is a pleasure to welcome everyone to this very special and happy day for Clarksdale in the Mississippi Delta region. Living in small communities in rural America has many advantages. But in recent decades, these towns and regions of our country have faced their set of challenges, including depopulation and the consequent reduction in their tax base, which has sometimes made it harder for them to support and sustain essential local services, such as education, healthcare, and the maintenance of infrastructure. Anything that can be done to support the creation of new jobs is something that strengthens the fabric of our community and allows its leaders to better meet the needs of its citizens. In the past 7 years, your local city and county governments, along with local, state, and federal economic development agencies, have contributed significantly to our local economy. Through these efforts, we recruited a steel company from Chicago, an outsourced center from California, assisted with 3 plant expansions, and we've kept open the doors of our hospital, preserving hundreds of jobs and essential healthcare services to our community. But now, let me be the first to say that while we have had some victories, we've also taken our share of hits. Not every project has worked out the way we had hoped, most especially in proportion to the effort that we all have put into them. But I will also say that when we get knocked down, we get back up, we keep fighting, and we don't quit. We in Clarksdale, in Coahoma County, in the Mississippi Delta, we don't quit. And today, we have gathered here in the offices of the Delta Regional Authority, the federal economic development agency that serves 252 counties in 8 states, to prove that no matter what, we never give up on producing economic development projects for Clarksdale and Coahoma County. Today, we welcome leaders who have worked for years to produce a project in Clarksdale and in other communities in the Delta that are now coming to fruition. Today, we welcome key players in this project to share with us their role in our journey. These people are our partners. Without them, we wouldn't have this project. I'll add that while our projects often require federal and state assistance, this project's journey began first with our local team. That team is led by our city and county governments. That local group takes its cue from our mayor, Chuck Espy, and the president of our Board of Supervisors, Pat Davis. I'd like to invite Clarksdale Mayor Chuck Espy and Coahoma County Board of Supervisors President Pat Davis to share our city and county's welcome to our special guests, IRS Commissioner Daniel Werfel, our own 2nd District United States Congressman Bennie Thompson, as well as their colleagues and DRA Chief Policy and Communications Officer Jessica Shapley. But before they come up, I'd like to express my appreciation to Mayor Espy, County Board President Pat Davis, the City Board of Commissioners, including Bo Plunk, Jimmy Harris, Willie Turner, and Ed Seals, along with their colleagues on the county, Paul Pearson, Jesse Harris, Darrell Washington, and Will Young. As your economic developer, I'll tell you, I could not have a finer group of people to work with. Let me tell you something. Mayor Chuck Espy spent 16 years in our state legislature before being elected to 2 terms as our mayor. He's been at the forefront of every economic development project and has brought contributions to his efforts that can only be made as the result of the hard experience of working on statewide projects for so many years in the legislature. Additionally, he has fostered cooperation with our county government, which in turn has created a greater sense of partnership along with the spirit that, well, we're all in this together. I would say he understands business development so well because he has had the responsibility of successfully navigating a 3-generation business, Century Funeral Home, into its 2nd century. So I'd ask you to please welcome our Mayor, Chuck Espin.
John will definitely do a plug for our family business, and I'm thankful so much. To Commissioner Werfel, to Congressman Bennie Thompson, to all of our guests, good afternoon. Listen, it is really great to be here today, and I want to share this with you. When you think about the IRS, you don't have many flattering words, do you? We all think about the IRS and we get concerns. But today we're using key words and it's very different. So we're chartering a new course. Just think about these words. We're talking about today of customer service. We're talking about resolving problems in real time. We're talking about hiring people in the Mississippi Delta. We're talking about education. We're talking about helping underserved populations and actually getting to the people that are in need. Words that you will never associate with the IRS. Just think about that. So here we are on the verge of a new beginning with the IRS, and it's happening where? In Clarksdale, Mississippi. And I am so thankful today for the commissioner and his effort at being at the helm of the ship. This takes serious effort by many people to bring this to fruition. So the commencement is real. A new start, a new beginning, but without the horsepower, if we did not have a particular member of Congress to push and lead and guide the way and fight for our fair share to be at the table, this moment would never happen. Our very own Congressman Bennie Thompson has led the way. I'm very proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with him as he makes sure that the Mississippi Delta has its place at the table on a national level. I'm thankful, Congressman. Very thankful. Thank you, Congressman. Our partners are real. The president of the Board of Supervisors, Pat Davis, has never shied away from what needs to be done. And they are here as they control this great building. So we can talk about all day long about the hope of, but without the right people at the right place at the right time, we could never talk about readiness. Those are good catch words, readiness. But it doesn't happen unless people actually put it into action. So the thought of today, Congressman, are we ready? We're ready. The city of Clarksdale has talked about readiness for too many years. And now it is our time to showcase that this city is ready. So congratulations, Clarksdale, and congratulations to the Mississippi Delta on a job well done by Congressman Thompson, and we are ready.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I love hearing him speak. I've been listening to him since he was 14 years old. We go back. In 2023, Pat Davis was reelected for a third four-year term as Coahoma County Supervisor. In his second term, Pat was elected by his colleagues to serve as Vice President, and this year they elected him President of the Board. His leadership has proved indispensable as the county has navigated the tricky waters necessary to keep open our hospital and help the county to meet its financial obligation to projects such as this one. He, along with Interim County Administrator Daniel Vassell, our County Attorney Tom Ross, and their staff have been essential in keeping this project on track. The time and the effort that Pat and Daniel and Tom and others have put into this project is considerable, and the consequence of their work is that we are here today celebrating and welcoming new and old friends. One reason Pat may be able to make this look so easy is that he, like Mayor Espy, has successfully navigated a generational family business, Abe's Barbecue, that recently celebrated its 100th birthday. Please welcome the president of our Coahoma County Board of Supervisors, Pat Davis.
On behalf of my fellow supervisors, Darrell Washington, Will Young, Jesse Harris, and Paul Pearson. That's the group that helped this happen. The spark happened here. And John put all this together, and now we're gonna see some jobs coming to Clarksdale. It's my great honor to welcome and meet the commissioner, along with our Congressman Bennie Thompson, again, Miss Jessica Stampling, the Communication Chief Policy Officer, and Dr. Corey Wiggins. Thank him, even though he's not here, he let us use his building today so everyone wouldn't have to travel from building to building in this hot summer day. This was so helpful in making it possible to keep the commissioner's visit here. I also like to express our deepest appreciation to Congressman Thompson again. Finally, Commissioner Werfel, I want to share this with you. My fellow supervisors and I are just now completing the work to put together our county's budget for the fiscal year. It's, as the case is in many small rural communities, it's not been an easy task. But every time we have an opportunity to create new jobs in our county, we can have hope that our future will be much brighter. This project and your efforts in Washington, as well as taking your time to come spend a few hours with us today, gives us hope for our families and the promise of new career opportunities for the citizens of this county. We truly thank you both. And thank you, John.
Thank you, Pat, and thank you for all the extraordinary work that you and the members of your board have done in every step along the way. We have so many members of our community here today, as well as some out-of-town visitors. I'd like to introduce you to one of our out-of-town team members who has become a regular in Clarksdale during the past few months. I've always said that it takes a team to put any economic development project together. It absolutely does. We have one of our team members here today. I'd like to recognize Katie Bowen with the architectural firm for our project, Duval Decker. Katie is the general manager of the project, and she has done an outstanding job coordinating the planning and renovation of the space. Katie, I know you're here. There is Katie. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm also pleased to recognize our general contractor, Philip Morlino. Everyone involved with this project knows how fortunate we were to have Philip bid on and win the contract to perform the build-out for the new center on the second floor. He and his crew keep a very tight schedule to keep up with Tim Marshall's schedule and make sure this gets done on time. And they're among the most professional crew with which we have worked on any project. And I'm really proud that Philip is our contractor. Philip, if you're here, I wish you would raise your hand. Philip raised his hand and sat down, so let's give Philip a hand. Finally, I can assure you that there is no better example of the fact that it takes a big team to bring a project to fruition than the person who served as the attorney for this project, Laura Heisel of the law firm Butler Snow in Jackson. Her knowledge of municipal law, her deep team of colleagues at Butler Snow as well as her passion for economic development in rural communities, and this project in particular, made her indispensable to our success. And Laura, you drove all the way up from Jackson to be with us. Thank you so much for being with us. Just let everybody stand up for just a moment. Thank you. I'll also tell you that post-COVID, we see everybody on a screen monitor. And Laura and I have worked on this project for 2.5 years. This is the first time we've seen each other face to face. Now, as we mentioned earlier, we are in the office of the Delta Regional Authority at the gracious invitation of Federal Co-Chairman Dr. Corey Wiggins. I've worked with Dr. Wiggins on several projects, and I have come to admire his understanding of and his passion for rural economic development. While he wanted to be here, his schedule wouldn't cooperate. And in his place to represent the DRA is Jessica Shapley, who serves the agency as the Chief Policy and Communications Officer. Ms. Shapley recently served as the Communications Director at the Stennis Institute for Public Service, a federal bipartisan legislative branch agency that provides training and development for public service professionals. Previously, she served as Vice President of Policy at the Hope Enterprise Corporation and the Hope Credit Union. She also served as a policy analyst at the Mississippi Economic Policy Center, where she focused on financial inclusion and community and economic development. She has a bachelor's degree in English, as well as a master's degree in public policy and public administration from Mississippi State University. Please join me in welcoming Jessica Shapley.
Hi, good afternoon. First, we just want to welcome you to Delta Regional Authority. It's a rare opportunity to have a full room here, so welcome. So as you may know, Delta Regional Authority was established in 2000, and we began as a formal framework for joint federal-state collaboration to promote and encourage the economic development of the lower Mississippi Delta and Alabama Black Belt regions. We invest in projects that support transportation infrastructure, basic public infrastructure, workforce training, and business development. And we work to create jobs, build opportunities, and improve the lives of the 10 million residents living in the 252 counties and parishes that we serve across our 8-state region, including right here in Clarksdale, Mississippi, which we get to call home. A few projects, just to name a few, that we have supported in Clarksdale most recently include awarding local nonprofit Higher Purpose, which is located directly across our street, more than $2.2 million to renovate the Higher Purpose Hub, a regional economic opportunity center enhancing the financial, physical, and cultural well-being of the Mississippi Delta residents. Providing a capacity building service to the Aaron E. Henry Community Health Services, a 2023 cohort member of our own Delta Region Community Health Systems Development Program, which provides technical assistance to critical access hospitals, small rural hospitals, rural health clinics, and other healthcare organizations in our service area, all created to enhance healthcare delivery. And we also invested $2 million in Coahoma County for an industrial site location project, which provides for levee and roadway improvements for an economic development project, which resulted in becoming the home of Connor Industries, an independent manufacturer and industry leader of the fully welded aluminum boats. So with the support of our local, federal, and state partners, DRA is proud to invest in projects that provide economic opportunities for those who live, work, and raise families across our region. Because of these investments we support, we are able to help build more resilient communities, open the door for good-paying jobs, and ensure that our residents are provided an equal opportunity toward a standard quality of life. On behalf of the Delta Regional Authority, we're honored to be here and be a partner in Coahoma County and in Clarksdale, and thank you for this opportunity.
I love the Delta Regional Authority. I love the Delta Regional Authority because they put their money where their mouth is. They say they're going to support economic development projects, and they do. They're located here in Clarksdale. They're our agency, and we really are so grateful that you allow us to use this space and to be here and to support the many good things that are going on in Coahoma County. Bennie Thompson is an icon in Mississippi politics. Currently serving his 15th term in Congress, he has been on the political scene in our state since he was elected in 1969 as an alderman and later mayor of Bolton, Mississippi. From 1980 until his election to Congress in 1993, he served as a member of the Board of Supervisors of Hinds County. In Congress, Thompson has focused on homeland security, agriculture, and civil rights. Having served as chairman of the Critical Committee on Homeland Security, he now serves in the influential capacity of ranking member. Among his significant achievements in his long tenure as our congressman, he was the lead author of a measure that created the National Center for Minority Health and Healthcare Disparities. Most significantly to us today, he was a major player in securing the appropriations for the IRS that created the opportunity for this project to take place in Coahoma County and other counties in the Mississippi Delta. He has been a powerful advocate for civil rights all of his career, with a special emphasis on health and wealth disparities. Mr. Chairman, we are all, wait a minute. I just want to say it. I just want to say how grateful, and I want to express everyone's gratitude, everyone who is here today, their gratitude for you, because you are the person who provided the means by which we could help ourselves. You're giving us the tools to help ourselves, and we hope that we honor the work that you have worked so hard for. Everyone, please welcome our Congressman, our own Bennie Thompson. Now, come on.
Thank you so much. I am really happy to be back in Clarksdale, Coahoma County. I'm happy to see so many familiar faces that have come out for this event. You know, in most instances, it's easy to do right. And in this instance, it was easy to advocate for these jobs to come to this area because we have good people. But it was also easy because the people that you put in prominent places helped make it possible. And so to those folk who lost out, better luck next time. We're happy that Clarksdale won out in a big way. We have a number of jobs coming to this area, not just here, but Cleveland and Greenville. The team went around. Everybody showed all their good stuff and fed the visitors good food and played good music. But in the end, I think people saw what was in this community and said, you know, we're not going to leave Clarksdale. We're going to expand our footprint in Clarksdale. Now, by expanding that footprint, that means we're bringing more federal jobs to this area, primarily the Internal Revenue Service, and you'll hear from the commissioner a lot of other things later. But these are good government jobs. These are jobs that carry insurance, carry retirement, carry a whole bunch of things that most folk wish they could have. And so for me to advocate for it is fine. For me to vote for the legislation that created the authority was good. And the fact that I'm the only somebody in our whole federal delegation that voted for this. Everybody else voted against it. But I value this part of the state. I value my state. So if I'm the only vote, then that's fine. Now, since I'm the only vote, guess who get the jobs? Okay? I mean, so that's how it ought to be played. Public policy said, sure, you can support it, but if you choose not to support it, don't feel bad when the people who did support it get it. Well, you all have that opportunity now. You'll have your next door neighbor might have an opportunity to get the job. Your church member might have an opportunity to get the job, just anybody. But the long-term goal is to try to get everybody from this county employed in this agency. Now, the thing we just heard about the call center is they'll have 47 jobs for the call center, and they're going to hire them all at one time. So that's I almost said what kind of big deal it was. but you know what I'm talking about. Because it really is. Now, this is like the equivalent in some areas of 500 or 600 jobs coming. But for this community to be vested in this kind of opportunity is tremendous. And I have to applaud all the partners. I happen to have voted for DRA when Bill Clinton was president. And everybody said, why you want to help those counties? Exactly, because we have other parts of the country that have their own agencies who are doing state things. Why leave us out? So now we have DRA, and everybody's jealous of the good work they're doing because they invested back in the community. And it's the only agency where you can take federal money and match other federal money. Unheard of. One of my colleagues said, well, you know it's not fair. Really? Okay. I'll take it any way we get it. But just don't take it away from us. And so that's why it's easy to do right. It's easy to create the opportunity and let local people take it from there. And so what you've done with the enabling legislation is you've competed. You put Clarksdale, Coahoma County, up against other counties, and you won. And that gives you bragging rights, and I compliment you for it. And there are other things that we'll be working on in the not too distant future you'll hear about, but we need to keep it going. We had good news from the hospital earlier today. We working on a couple of other projects. So, you know, we move on. And thank all of you who put the effort into that. Apart from that, I'm just happy to be here. The commissioner is not accustomed to sauna weather, but he'll get used to it. And when I saw him with his suit and tie on, I said, yeah, you in for a treat. So, Commissioner, we're glad to have you. And it's been a joy traveling with you all day today. And just to feel your spirit for communities like this. And we thank you so much for it. And we look forward to other opportunities. So again, it's easy to do right. And I'm happy to just be a little part of it. But I encourage the local leadership to continue to work together on solving common problems. If you work together on solving those problems, you can find solutions much faster than doing it any other way. So I encourage you to do that. Thank you so much.
I was interested to hear what you said about the commissioner's choice to wear a tie. I'm scared of what you might say about my choice to wear a tie, because I am from here. In any event, thank you. Thank you, Congressman Thompson, for everything that you have done for this project. I also want to give a shout out to another member of our team who happens to be here. The Congressman just talked about working together. That is the only way that we're going to make it in this community, in any of these small communities. And one of our biggest partners in this community that helps with every single project we have, we hold almost every event out on his campus, is the president of Coahoma Community College, Dr. Val Towner, who's sitting in the back. He's joined us today. Let me tell you what he did for this project, just so that you know. Tim Marshall called me and he said, John, we need to have a couple of classrooms to train people. He said, can you help me with it? I said, yeah, I think I know who to call. I picked up the phone, I called Val, I told him what we needed, and you know what he said? Give me a few minutes, I'll call you back. He called me right back. He has the 2 classrooms, they're ready to go. When your people are ready, Commissioner, we're going to send them out there initially to get trained. But that's the kind of partnership that Congressman Thompson was talking about. That's a key. Dr. Towner is a key member of our team. And I thank you, Dr. Towner, for being with us today. Thank you. It is an honor to introduce to you our keynote speaker, IRS Commissioner Daniel Werfel. Mr. Werfel received his undergraduate degree from Cornell University, his Juris Doctor from the University of North Carolina School of Law, and a master's degree in public policy from Duke University. And as you can see, he is a typical Long Island underachiever. He began his career in federal government in 1997 as a policy analyst in the Office of Management and Budget. He later worked as a trial lawyer in the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department. He returned to OMB, where he served as the chief of the Financial Integrity and Analysis Branch. He was then promoted first to the position of Deputy Controller at OMB and later as Acting Controller during the administration of George W. Bush. In 2009, President Barack Obama nominated Mr. Werfel to be the OMB Controller, and while serving in that role, he also assumed the duties of the OMB Deputy Director of Management. In May 2013, he was appointed the Acting Commissioner of the IRS. And after that, he went into private sector. He said, well, maybe IRS, I'll go into private sector. And he joined the Boston Consulting Group, ultimately rising to the position of head of BSG's public sector practice in North America. In November 2022, President Joe Biden nominated Mr. Werfel to serve as the 50th Commissioner to the IRS, to which he was confirmed by the U.S. Senate the following March for the term ending 2027. And Mr. Werfel, I have to tell you that this project is one of the most significant with which I have engaged in my 7 years as an economic developer here. This is true for several reasons, including the fact that it causes the refurbishment of a significant space in this county-owned building, that the cost of the refurbishment will be repaid through the shell rent and a tenant improvement component to the lease, important to a poor county, and that up to 50 people will have new and meaningful career opportunities with excellent salaries and benefits. That 47 that the Congressman referred to a moment ago joins 14 others who are currently on the 3rd floor. But I must tell you something, that there's another connection that I have that somehow gives this project a special resonance to me. You see, and I'll share this with all of y'all while I share it with the Commissioner. About 3 weeks ago, a relatively young employee of your agency who lives and works in Washington, whom I have met on a number of occasions, and more importantly, who my eldest daughter, who also lives and works in Washington, has known and dated for 3 years, asked her for her hand in marriage. She said yes. Now, after all of that, it just feels as if this project is just a little more personal than some of the others. And in some ways, when I understood that you were coming here, well, it felt as if I were meeting one of my future in-laws. All right, well, at least a work in-law. So everyone, please stand and join me in giving a warm Mississippi Delta welcome to the newest member of our family, the boss of my son-in-law-to-be, the Commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service, Daniel Werfel.
Well, welcome to the family. I'll let you know what time Thanksgiving dinner is.
Thank you.
Now, it is so great to be here. You know, I can't help but start by being in a courtroom. You mentioned that earlier in my career, I was a trial attorney for the Civil Rights Division. And I can tell you right now, facing this way is a lot less stressful than facing this way. So I'm glad you're all sitting here and not there. It is so great to be here in the Mississippi Delta and to be in Clarksdale, celebrating, key moment in our Lifting Communities Up partnership, which not only is going to help taxpayers, but clearly is going to help this community. Let me acknowledge as the partners here, obviously Congressman Bennie Thompson. We have spent the day together. It is a memorable day. I was telling a group earlier, there's a few moments that I've had, been blessed to meet so many incredibly inspiring people, including John Lewis and John McCain. And the day we spent together will rank up there. You really inspired me today with your insights and your comments and your wisdom. Obviously, Pat Davis from Coahoma County, and I know that Corey Wiggins couldn't be here, but Ms. Shapley, thank you for joining. John Livingston from Crossroads Economic Partnership. Look, on behalf of the IRS, I want to express my deep appreciation for everything that you and all the partners have done. Look, Lifting Communities Up, it's a program that is designed to help communities that we actually serve. Now, we serve you to try to make your journey in a complicated tax system easier. But now we can partner with you on that by being in this community. And the fact that we can have such an impact by adding the hardworking members of this community to our workforce, it is a proud moment. And I was talking earlier to Max Weiss, who's our Deputy Human Capital Officer at the IRS. There's going to be a moment coming up in a couple of weeks where 47 people here in Clarksdale are going to be sworn in, take the oath of office to join the IRS. And that'll be a special moment. I said I want that moment videotaped because it'll remind me of what we're here for. We're here to serve the nation. And the fact that these folks locally to here will be swearing that oath to serve the nation, it'll be an important moment. I also want to recognize Kevin McIver, who is the person in the IRS that is really I mean, I get to do the keynote, but he does the work, And the mayor said to me earlier, don't forget about us. Well, Kevin won't let me forget. He is doggedly persistent and is passionate and has spent a career in public service at the IRS and including the military. And he's the kind of guy you want pushing for these types of programs to be successful and not let us in Washington take our eye off the ball of what's important. So you have a really great ally in Kevin. We started this Clarksdale program as a pilot in 2022, and as has been mentioned, so many people put in the sweat equity to make it a reality. We have over two dozen new jobs here, with a lot more coming. But just those 2 dozen jobs alone, that's over $2.4 million annually in salary and benefits. So when you think about 47 additional people coming in, we're getting close to $10 million. And that doesn't even count the nearly $1 million in the upgrade to this space. And the other thing Senator Thompson mentioned, these are good government jobs. When I was touring the new space, it's still under construction, but they're going to be done soon. Towards the back, there's There's a bathroom, there's a kitchen, there's a training room. And to me, that's part of why it's a good government job, because we want to invest in our people. We want them here for a long time. But you know what? If they don't stay, we want them to have training and development to help them be successful in their careers, whether at the IRS or elsewhere. So we are going to invest, as we do, in our people and train them on things like technology, customer service. Learning about the tax system, which is very complicated, can be a unique skill set that can really help you broaden your horizons in your career. So nothing makes me prouder than the opportunity to hire people and train them. And we will train them in particular around things that they're going to be very familiar with when they get here, which is empathy, grace with taxpayers, finding solutions, and understanding that our job is to reduce the stress of the taxpayers we serve, not increase the stress. And I'm excited about the idea of people calling into this call center and maybe, oh, it's you. I know you from church. I know you from Little League. And that sense of community is going to be very powerful. In addition to people walking into the walk-in center in nearby Greenville, knowing that the person sitting across from you solving your issues grew up in the same environment you did, understands the shoes that you're walking in, and therefore can be a customer service agent that really can help you in a very fulsome and empathetic way. Because of all this work, we know that the IRS is making a difference in the Delta region, and we're very proud of it. Lifting Communities Up is an inspiring program because it helps people rise out of poverty with a career in the IRS, which enables them to help serve taxpayers and serve the nation. So those two things together is such a powerful statement about what's possible when we can work together at the federal level with the local level. It's a win-win on a very inspirational and meaningful level. So I will leave here today a changed person from meeting all of you, seeing the work that's being done, the excitement, the appreciation, and the impact that the IRS can have in a local community is a powerful thing for someone in my position to experience. So I really appreciate the warmth, the hospitality, but the commitment and the hard work. A lot of people in this room have put in a lot of hard work that's going to make that moment of those 47 people being sworn in possible. It'll be a proud moment, but it's only the beginning. Because if I have one message here, it's that we're in here for the long term. I think Kevin mentioned earlier that my predecessor who helped launch this program, Commissioner Chuck Reddick, he said we're not going to do this if we're just driving by. We're going to do this if we're in for the long term. And so I'm here to say we're in for the long term. So let me say again, a heartfelt thank you to all of your partners, to all of our partners. We're going to improve the lives of the people in Clarksdale together, and we're going to do it while meeting the absolute critical mission of the IRS, and I couldn't be more proud. So thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner. One of the things that you said resonates with me, aside from welcome to the family, and that is that people have a perception of the IRS. So when I told people that I had this project a couple of years ago, they looked at me as if I were trying to offer them a bowl of COVID. People say, I went to one of my board members and I said, I've got this great project. I think we're going to create some jobs here. We have some real opportunity. And they said, what is it? I said, the IRS. And I don't know. You know, here's what I tell them now, after 2 years of working with your team members, your colleagues. This group of people, Tim Marshall, who's here, Kevin McIver, James Maselli, All of these folks I've gotten to know over a period of time. I remember their names. I don't have any notes. I'm not reading at this point. This is the real thing. They're such first-class people, and what I would say to my people in Clarksdale, these are the people we go to church with. These are the people whose children go to school with our children. They're first class. They're marvelous people, and they're committed to doing good things in our community. So I think it's time for many of us, it certainly was for me, to reevaluate how we consider and what we think about when we think about the IRS. Aside from the fact that my future son-in-law is going to be a member of that team, I have no choice. But we all need to think about that, because these are extraordinary people who do our country's work. And we're really proud to have every member here and to have these jobs here. And I thank you, Commissioner Werfel. I thank you, Congressman Thompson, multiple times over for the opportunity that you've provided us. And to your colleagues who have worked on this these past several years, as we've all worked together to stand up the Clarksdale Center. Your work and your support means the world to us and made the difference between us having this opportunity and not. I also want to thank the many members of the IRS with whom our county and I have worked these past 2.5 years. As I mentioned, they have worked toward making this center to serve our community as a job and career generator. And finally, to my fellow citizens of Coahoma County, I would like to share this idea with you. With all due respect to Mr. Faulkner, the past is just that. It's done. It's in our rearview mirror, and the future's ahead of us. While we may have challenges in our community, and Lord knows we can read about them all the time, we have the opportunity, through projects like this one, to shape our future, to be one of greater hope and genuine possibility for every one of our citizens. It may not be easy, and we may take some hits along the way, which surely we have, but we don't quit. We keep fighting for the better future we want for every citizen. And then, if, like Congressman Thompson said, we work hard enough and we work together, we can enjoy more days like today, when we may celebrate genuine achievement and the prospect of greater financial sustainability and stability through great jobs for our citizens. I want to thank each of you for coming today, and this concludes our program. Thank you.